look, at least let them like engage in some stock trading so that they can continue to, take care of their family.
So that is Mike Johnson making very clear that unless you allow these representatives to trade individual stocks with the privileged information they have, engaging in insider trading, you'd call it for anyone else if they were doing this, then they can't take care of their family. These people who are on average are worth more than $1 million, who make the better part of $200,000 a year. Their kids would starve. They would they'd die freezing in the winter if they couldn't trade Tesla stock based on a meeting with Elon Musk or whatever. That's what he would have you believe. Now, this is obviously corrupt, it's obviously self-serving, but why is he talking about it now? Well, because the only thing that has allowed actual stuff to get done in the House in the past year, discharge petitions, there's another one coming. It's being pushed by Representative Anna Paulina-Luna, specifically to stop at least some of this insider trading. And here she is talking about it.
My legislation to ban insider trading is being taken so seriously that I'm hearing that both Leader Hakeem Jeffries and the Speaker and potentially House leadership are considering sending members home because they don't want to have members sign on to the legislation overwhelmingly supported by the American people to ban insider trading. So I think that, obviously this place can be a pressure cooker. You guys know this being in the press. I think every single member of Congress will tell you that. But again, we're not going to stop fighting. I can understand the frustrations, but I'm here to deliver wins. And I think that we're going to get a win. We'll get negotiations for sure. I just hope that CNN continues to put pressure on some of my colleagues to get onto that legislation.
Okay, so we have given her a little bit of credit on this in the past because I want to see this sort of trading stopped. We're gonna give her some credit. We're not giving her all the credit because there are still massive gaps in her bill that would allow a lot of this sort of corruption to go on. And look, she's right about Johnson. Johnson might literally shut down the House again. He always takes his toys and just goes home if he doesn't like how other people are playing. Jeffries also deserves some criticism, although he's got a good cover story at least. He says, if she's interested in dealing with corruption, do something about the active ongoing crime scene coming out of 1600 Pennsylvania Ave, the most corrupt administration in American history, and it's not even close. We don't hear a peep from her or from any of her colleagues about even extending the stock ban to the executive branch, to Donald Trump, to JD Vance, or perhaps even to the Supreme Court. And look, I think it should cover all of those people. It should be way broader. And let's be very clear about why Anna Paulina-Luna is not doing that. It's because she doesn't care if Donald Trump engages in the exact sort of corruption she has a problem with her colleagues doing. Or at the very least, she's too terrified that were she to stop him from doing that he would nuke her from orbit on True Social. So it's either corruption or cowardice. Let's be clear about that. Now that said, I think something is better than nothing. I would rather the Democrats sign on to this and at the very least get the precedent that in the House they're not doing this sort of thing, maybe in the Senate too, and then maybe we expand that to the executive branch eventually. Because one way or another, we've got to stop some of this corruption. I mean, Waz, I know you've seen the stories over the years. They come in and they start making a killing. Nancy Pelosi, it happens on the Democratic and the Republican side. What do you think?
I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene, we won't be the first to point out she's retiring, but she's built up a nice nest egg in her time in Congress. She's filthy rich now. All of them are getting paid off of this. It's quite disgusting. I mean, you have your outliers like your Bernies and AOCs who are take a principled stance against this. But bro, they're all getting filthy rich. She's not some pure actor, Anna Paulina-Luna at all. She sucks. Let's keep it 1,000, right? But at the same time, I think this is a fantastic start. The bill that she's introduced, of course it should extend to Trump, but of course it should extend to, but that's the crazy thing. It extends to the cabinet. You can't take a cabinet position and actually, not be divested from certain stocks and all of that stuff. We have these rules in place for people in government, just not the House and the Senate and the executive branch, which is insane to me. But yeah, she sucks. She's a Trump sycophant, but I would still love to see this bill to get a vote taken on it and pass.
Yeah. Look, 70% of voters support banning lawmakers from trading these stocks. That we're a democracy, right? We're told, shouldn't that be a slam dunk? 70%. And by the way, in terms of extending it to the president, We previously never would have had to even think about this because they just wouldn't engage in that sort of obvious corruption for the most part. But unfortunately, Donald Trump decided, oh, it's a norm. I'm not gonna be bound by that. I'm not gonna be bound by the law. You think a norm is gonna stop me? So when we say that we need to finally fix some of these holes, this is a great example of finally doing that. And I also just wanna remind everyone, this would not stop them from investing. It would stop them from trading individual stocks. They could still invest in mutual funds and index funds. They could make money as the economy improves. And not even the economy improves, Wall Street improves. That is what is not enough for Mike Johnson. It's not enough that they get the return on investment. They need to be able to make specific targeted purchases and sales using the information they get that you don't have. That is how wildly, cartoonishly corrupt this is. And that is what Mike Johnson is fighting to defend.